Okay, so in this video, we're going to be measuring thoracolumbar flexion, active range of motion using a tape measure. So for this, your two bony landmarks are going to be the C7 spinous process. And if you go ahead and lean your head forward, okay, now back up, look to the right, look to the left, and extend your neck back for me. Okay, so that's right about C7 right there. And your S2 spinous process is going to be right in between your PSIS on each side. We're going to use the PSIS as a stationary landmark for this to find the S2. So I found it earlier, it's right about there. All right, so we're going to use those two landmarks and we're going to ask the patient to bend forward while guarding against lateral flexion and rotation and measure the start and end difference to get the active range of motion for thoracolumbar flexion. So if you go ahead and turn that way for me. So I'm going to put the top of the tape measure on the C7 spinous process and the bottom at the S2 spinous process, and you're going to instruct the patient to flex forward and try and touch their toes as far as they can go, but you want them to keep their knees extended, so you don't want them compensating that way, and you want to guard again against that lateral flexion and rotation. And you want their posture to be balanced and upright. So we're going to see a firm end feel on this. So go ahead and bend over, try and touch your toes. Okay, and come back up. So the start was about 52 centimeters and the end was about 57 centimeters. So the difference between those two is 5 centimeters. So 5 centimeters would be the range of motion for thoracolumbar flexion in this patient. Okay, so for this video, I'm going to be demonstrating a trunk extension MMT. This is going to be grades 0 through 5. So for this one, what we're going to want to do is create a firm stabilization on the proximal thighs. Obviously, this would be better done on a table. However, I do not have one of those at home, so I'm just going to perform it on this. I know that it is not correct. So first, grade 5, you're going to instruct the patient to put their hands on the back of their neck. So go ahead and put your hands on the back of your neck for me. And what you're looking for is to see the sternum clear the surface. The pillow is there just for comfortability. We'd prefer a table with a face hole or face slit in it. So what I'm going to do, and I'm also going to palpate the erector spinae group on the lumbar and thoracic region to see if I can feel that contraction. So I'm going to stabilize here and go ahead and lift up. Good. So that would be a grade 5. Okay, and now for grade 4, you instruct the patient to bring their hands, the dorsum of their hands on their lumbar region. So go ahead and put your hands behind your back right there. All right, so you're going to do the same thing, just lift off. Count 3, go. Nice, still feel that contraction. He cleared with his sternum off the table. So that is going to be a grade 4. So for grade 3, you're going to have the patient bring their hands down by their side. And you're going to do the exact same thing, stabilize in the proximal thighs, and then go ahead and lift up. Okay, good. And that would be a grade 3. So for a grade 2, the patient is not going to be able to complete this grade 3 motion. So hands still to the side, and they're only going to be able to complete partial range of motion, so that sternum is not going to clear from the table. But you still are going to feel that contraction of the erector spinae group. So go ahead and lift up. But in reality, they would not be able to clear, but he has very good range of motion. So not being able to clear the table with that sternum and still being able to feel that contraction would be a grade 2. Grade 1 would be little to no movement at all, and you would still feel that contraction of the erector spinae group. And a 0 would be no movement at all, no contraction of the erector spinae group. So that is the trunk extension MMT